Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Namevavasishyate Ishavasyanidam Sarvam Kincha Jagatyam Jagat Tena Tyaptena Vanjita Kritakasya Sudanim.
Vrjika ma grada kasya ida.
Okay. So yesterday we started with this sixth shloka and we saw the three types. Okay. So this shloka till in the fourth and fifth shloka we saw the Lord is described in terms of different contradictions. That Lord is fixed in one place, but he can run very fast, and it is difficult to know him. And Lord is fixed in one place, and he controls everything from there. That is the fourth shloka and fifth shloka. That Lord walks but doesn't walk, and Lord is far away, and but Lord is also near. Lord is far away in the spiritual world, but Lord can be near. He can appear anytime, and he also comes in the form of Archa Vigraha. Somebody can be muted, I think somebody is unmuted. And then the last one is Lord is outside of everything in the spiritual world, and Lord is inside of everything in form of Paramatma. And yeah, he's inside as Garbhodaksha Vishnu, and inside everything in the universe as Shivadaksha Vishnu. So that is how the different contradictions, Lord is described in form of different contradictions, and we saw how Prabhupada resolves those contradictions. Then the sixth verse, it actually describes how to worship the Lord. So the method of worshipping Lord is seen is the prescribed method is seeing the Lord in everything. Means if you see everything in relation to Lord, then naturally you will use everything in the service of Lord. And that way you will not hate anyone or you will not hate anything. But you may again think, why this kind of worship? Because we see Bhakti Yoga, the nine process of devotional service, like Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, like this. But because again, this is you have to see this is Ishopanishad, and the students of this Ishopanishad are mainly Jnana Yogis. In Jnana Yoga, this is one of the sadhanas to see how the world is temporary, and so the same thing they are saying. You are living entities. Instead, you will use them in the service of the Lord.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I think we lost you somewhere in between. I don't know if it was only for me, but between it got stuck.
No, it was for everyone to go.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll just revise. Okay. Yeah, so this verse describes how the worship of the Lord has to be carried out. So this is like seeing the Lord in everything. So that if we see Lord in everything, then we will naturally use everything in the service of Lord. In that way, we will not hate anyone or hate anything. If we see how the wild animals are part of the Lord, then we will not hate them for what they are. We will see that because of their previous karma, they are in that form, like that. But now you may ask why this kind of worship? Because again, this is Ishopanishad. So in generally in Bhakti Yoga, the kind of worship that is generally described is the nine process of devotional service, like Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, and Padasevanam, Dandanam, Dasyam, like this. But because this is Ishopanishad, it is mainly for those who are practicing Jnana Yoga. So that's why here one of the sadhanas of Jnana Yoga is to observe the world from the eyes of Shastra and to see how this world is temporary, how it is miserable, how it is limited, all these things. So this is the Jnana Yoga is to observe the world and see how it is okay, yeah. So one of the sadhanas of Jnana Yoga is to see the world and see how it is limited, suffering, and all. So that's why this kind of worship is prescribed to that. You see the world instead of seeing it from it how it is temporary, see it how it is connected to the Lord, etc. Okay. But yeah, Prabhupada gives a devotional purport to all these shlokas. So we saw the three types of devotees: Kanishtadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, and Uttamadhikari. I think you can start recording. The recording is off.
She has already started.
Yeah, it started. So, yeah, thank you. So this is just summary of it. The Kanishtadhikari spirit means what is spiritual. He sees the spiritual prominently with a material purpose. So he sees only deity as something spiritual, divine, but he sees devotees from a materialistic perspective only. That okay, this devotee is a good speaker because is very charismatic and or he speaks with a lot of humor, etc. But doesn't see them in a spiritual way. How he's advanced, he has done a lot of years of practice. Those things they don't see. And matter, the Kanishta sees matter also as a matter, and he sees also matter from an enjoyment, with a purpose of enjoyment. So he maintains attraction to matter and materialists, etc. So yeah, they may watch movies, they may watch cricket match, etc. Like Madhyamadhikari, he sees spiritual as spiritual, so he maintains affection to the Lord and he maintains good friendship with devotees. So his relationship with devotees is mainly for the purpose of spiritual advancement. He wants to learn from devotees and also get inspirations of encouragement in devotion service, etc. And he wants to get mercy of devotees because by which he can also get mercy of Lord, etc. And he sees matter and materialists as spiritual as much as possible and tries to engage them. Uh, he tries to engage matter and he also tries to be compassionate to the materialists who are favorable, who are receptive to Krishna consciousness. Else, he maintains distance. For those who are envious, who are averse to Krishna consciousness, he maintains distance as a service to them. Because if he goes near, then they may blaspheme more and then they may get entangled and get more reactions. Uttamadhikari, he sees spiritual as spiritual and he sees material also as spiritual. Means he's able to see uh, Krishna in everyone and everything. So then he engages the matter in service of the Lord and he's compassionate to the materialists. Madhyamadhikari, he has limitation in this. Means, as per his adhikar, whatever possible only he can see. Like not everyone can see the opposite sex as if someone is not very advanced, they cannot see the opposite sex as spiritual. They may see from an enjoyment perspective. So they should not preach to them. It can be male to female or female to male, both. But somebody is very advanced and also aged, so that may be okay for them. Means they have that they can deal with it and they can see in a spiritual perspective and also preach to them, etc. Okay. Okay, so today who wants to read? Can someone raise hand?
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, you can read, Bro. Yeah, Vaikuntha we have, Bro. Bro, so yes, you can start. It is clearly mentioned.
It is clearly mentioned in the sixth mantra that one should observe or systematically see. This means that one must follow the previous acharyas, the preferred teachers. Anupashyat, Anupashyati is the exact Sanskrit word used in this connection. Anu means to follow and Pashyati means to observe.
Yes.
Thus, the
Thus the word. Yes.
Anupashyati means that one should not see things as he does with the naked eye, but should follow the previous acharya. Due to material defects, the naked eye cannot see anything properly. One cannot see properly unless one has heard from a superior source. And the highest source is the Vedic wisdom, which is spoken by the Lord Himself. Vedic truths are coming in disciplic succession from the Lord to Brahma, from Brahma to Narada, and from Narada to Vyasa, and from Vyasa to many of his disciples. Formerly, there was no need to record the messages of the Vedas because the people in earlier ages were more intelligent and had sharper memories. They could follow the instructions simply by hearing once from the mouth of bona fide spiritual master.
Okay, bro. Thank you.
Thank you,
Discuss
Prabhuji.
it. Yeah. So here now Prabhupada is going to discuss about the concept of Anupashyati. Anu means to follow. So trying to see the world following the footsteps of the previous acharyas and scriptures, or we can also call it as Shastra Chakshu. So the default setting of the conditioned jiva is like seeing it everything from like what is in it for me, like a material vision. So they even come to temple and they want to enjoy the beauty of the Lord and they want to take selfies and all. They're they don't know the spiritual understanding of the deities and how we should approach them and all. They don't know. They see temple as okay, it's a place where we can relax, where we can get some serenity, where we can get peace of mind, or as a recreation spot where we can shop, eat, all that. So spiritual, so default material vision is a general default settings, but so when we should cultivate spiritual vision. So we have to learn from the previous acharyas. Prabhupada is writing that how they have written commentaries on scriptures. So through that we can learn how to have the spiritual vision. Okay, so this is an exercise. So you can take some 2 to 3 minutes. 3 minutes you can take, and you can think about some examples from Shastra where devotees. So we are talking about devotees who fail to see situations from Shastra Chakshu. Like Ajamil, he is a more or less like a practicing devotee, maybe a mixed devotee. So when he saw the prostitute, he could not. He tried to see it through Shastra, but he could not control himself. So that is example for negative example, and positive examples from Shastra where devotees were successful in seeing situations from Shastra Chakshu. Like Haridas Thakur, also a prostitute was sent to him to to defame him. But Haridas Thakur could see that she came with that purpose, and he saw her as a part and parcel of Krishna, and he made her into a devotee. So you can think about some examples, then we'll discuss. Okay. Anyone else?
Prabhuji, Bharat Maharaj could
हाँ,
not see
Bharat.
deer.
Yes, yes.
Deer.
Yes, bro. Very good, very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, yes, Raj, bro, I can tell.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, bro.
Actually, I have two examples. First is a
Mm.
Bilo Mangal Thakur. After the first renunciation,
Mm.
after that he also attacked one woman.
Yeah,
And and second is a Gajendra's previous birth. In previous birth, Gajendra was also some kind of devotee person, but he disrespects some saint, maybe something like that.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Yes, bro, Javtari Chetan, bro.
Prabhu, one example of devotee failing to see from Shastra Chakshu is Indira on seeing Krishna stopping Indra Puja.
Yes, bro. Thank you very much. Okay, Ishaya Mataji.
Prabhuji, Nalkuver and Manigrave.
On what is the situation?
So they forgot to respect Narad Muni and then they were cursed to become trees. So
Okay, yes, thank you. Okay, now for the second question. Amrita Mataji.
Bali Maharaj Prabhu.
Bali Maharaj, okay.
Bali Maharaj denied the instruction of his Guru
Yes.
Sukracharya.
Okay, yes, good. And Archana Mataji.
Prabhuji Vidura, when he was insulted by Duryodhana,
Yes,
he took
very
it an
good.
opportunity and he went for
Yes.
further.
He took it as an opportunity for spiritual advancement. Thank you. And yes, Soni Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, I have written Bilba Mangal Thakur only in positive also, because the moment he realized that he has performed something wrong, which is not in accordance with the Shastra, he immediately removed that sense which which took him away from Bhakti. So that is positive.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, Srikant Prabhu.
Can we say similarly, Vishwamitra also, initially he was distracted from his sadhana, but later he was composed.
Okay, take it. We need a particular situation, not a person, but okay, take it. That also you can say. It's fine. Okay, Sharad Prabhu.
Prabhuji Parikshit Maharaj, when he receives curse.
Okay,
So
very nice. Yes, Raj Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. In this verse, actually, I connect. We can take example of Dattatreya and his gurus. So he can see the potential and Shastra Chakshu from every living and non-living element. Even he take one guru. I think his one of guru was a prostitute, maybe.
Okay. You mean to say that those gurus, 24 gurus. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Prabhuji,
that's
can
a
I
good
say
example.
something?
Yes, bro. Sure.
Brahmaji follows her own daughter. She could not see her daughter as a from the Shastra point of view.
That's a negative example. We are discussing positive examples, but fine.
Positive examples. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, man. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
Dhruv Maharaj can be the example.
Dhruv Maharaj in what?
He opted for a kingdom of, but later on he became a spiritual, and he did not had that. First, he was very much interested in getting a kingdom bigger than his father.
See, we are talking about a particular situation. No? Generally, suddenly some situation should come and the devotee, how he is responding it that way. It's not like how a devotee is getting transformed over time. Not exactly that, but that's fine. Okay, now you can take some 1-2 minutes and you can see in your own personal life, you encountered situations where you responded positively or negatively. You can just write down, no need to share. And you can, about fifth question, you can think about it. What steps we can take to increase or improve our Shastra section? You can take around again 3 minutes and then we'll discuss. Okay, so for the fifth question, who wants to answer?
Yes, Prabhuji, can I answer?
Yes, yes.
By Shravanam and Kirtanam, by reading Srimad Bhagavad Gita and
Yes,
Srimad
yes.
Bhagavad.
One point you can take. Yes, good point. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Mataji, Amrita Mataji.
Take more association of Vaishnavas and senior disciples.
Yeah. Especially from them, you can try to hear how to see from Shastra.
Yeah,
You
yes.
can,
Yes, Prabhu.
by them, you can learn. Yes. Okay. Next, anyone else? Okay, Yashraj Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, yes.
So Prabhuji, actually the practical answer is what according to my perspective is when we can correlate our all situation to the Shastra and Bhagavad Gita and whatever we hear and whatever we read. Because when we correlate with them, so we have faith in the Shastras and whatever we heard. So if we have a faith, then we can see everything and everywhere how Krishna is controlling our life, and in every situation we can see the presence of Krishna,
Yes,
and
yes.
that is our actually practical experience. So
Good, good. Yeah, so I heard from one devotee, he puts it in a nice way. If you see the world in Shastra, then you can see the world through Shastra, which means when you're reading Shastra, you can try to think, how a particular thing, what I read, is related to my Krishna consciousness, or how to see the world through this. Like in the first orientation session, you must remember, you may be remembering that, no? We saw the aims of Shastric study, personal application, preaching application, all that. No, all that we studied. So if we do that when we are studying, then when some situation comes, we can, it will help us to see through Shastra. So that is one thing. Okay, we will just see. Yeah, as you said, by reading Shastra itself, it will help because in Shastra also we see pastimes like Vidura and all these things that will help. And also, we consciously try to see the world in Shastra, then we can see the world through Shastra. Then definitely hearing from devotees, especially if you see one good example is Prabhupada morning walks. The Prabhupada, they're they're walking in the world, means no outside city and all. Prabhupada used to comment, this is like this. If some ducks are quacking, then he says, no, they're asking their parents, no, bring me food, like that, different things. Then practice, like as we practice, if we practice Krishna consciousness like Shravanam, Kirtanam and all, then that will get purified and then our intelligence will be awakened, etc. Then fifth is taking guidance. Also, like when you face some difficulty and all, then when you take guidance, then from senior devotees and mentors, so then that will give you that experience. So by that, you may be able to help some other person who are encountering a similar situation, or when you encounter the similar situation again, so then that will help you. Then as we sincerely practice Krishna consciousness, Krishna tells that dadame buddhi yogantam. If you see, there is one example of Sridhar Swami. He wanted to take sannyas. So then what happened? And his wife was pregnant, so he thought, okay, she will give birth to child and she will take care of the child. And then after the child is born, then I will renounce. But what happened? The child was born, but the mother had died. So then he was wondering, Array, what to do now and all. Then he was praying to the Lord and thinking about what to do. So then he sees a lizard, a small lizard, a baby lizard, and it is going, and by the arrangement of destiny, one insect comes and falls into its mouth and it eats. So then he understands, okay, by the arrangement of Lord will arrange for the child. If I surrender to the Lord will arrange for the child. So then he renounces. Then some devotees who pass by his home and they find the child, crying child, and they take care of it. So yeah. Okay. Welcome to Bihari Pro. Can you read this at present?
At present, there are many commentaries on the revealed scriptures, but most of them are not in the line of disciplic succession, coming from Srila Vyasdev, who originally completed the Vedic wisdom. The final, most perfect, and the sublime work by Srila Vyasdev is Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the natural commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. There is also Bhagavad Gita, which was spoken by the Lord himself and recorded by Vyasdev. They are the most important revealed scriptures, and any commentary that contradicts the principles of Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam is unauthorized. There is complete agreement among the Upanishads, Vedanta Sutra, Vedas, Bhagavad Gita, and Srimad Bhagavatam. And no one should try to reach any conclusion about the Vedas without receiving instructions from the members of Vyas's disciplic succession, who believe in the personality of Godhead and his diverse energies as they are exhibited in Sri Ishopanishad. According to Bhagavad Gita 18.54, only one who is already on the liberated platform, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatman Sochitina Kanchati, can become an Uttam Adhikari devotee and see every living being as his own brother. This vision cannot be had by politicians who are always after some material gain. One who imitates the symptoms of an Uttam Adhikari may serve another's outward body for the purpose of fame or material reward, but he does not serve the spirit soul. Such an initiator can have no information. Such imitator, can have no information of the spiritual world. The Uttam Adhikari sees the spirit soul within the material body and serves him as a spirit. Thus, the material aspects is automatically served.
Okay.
Equality has to be
No.
based
This is my notes.
Achha, sorry.
Yeah, so here Prabhupada is saying that if somebody has to comment on the scriptures, it should be in the line of Paramparam. So, yes, whenever we speak based on scriptures or also write, we should always ensure that whatever we speak is in accordance with the philosophy. So for that, we should hear from devotees who's we should hear and we can learn. So we have to quote, basically we should quote references and all. So that will bring authenticity to what we speak. And we should also possible take feedback from senior devotees, etc., so that we understand if we are not in parampara at any point, if we are committing any mistakes, etc. So that is important. And yeah, like Bhagavad Gita, there are many commentaries where, though it's very clear, the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita is Bhakti and how Bhagavan is personal, but the Mayavadi, they misinterpret the verses and try to show that it is indicating the impersonalist philosophy, or like those things. There are, that's what, there are different commentaries. So, and Prabhupada is again saying the equality can only be done on a spiritual platform, that too by an Uttamadhikari. So equality can be based on only spirituality and selflessness, and equality should not be based on superficial material coverings like nationality, humanity, and exploitation. And it will result in exploitation. Like someone may say that all Indians should be given equal privilege, but then again, you discriminate or you don't be equal to the other people of other countries. Then you may say that all humans should be treated fairly, but okay, what about other species of life? Can they be exploited? So that way, these are all conveniences for enjoyment and exploitation in some way. So spiritual equality has to be the foundational, and based on that, one has to decide how to manage the society. You cannot have any other type of equality. So that will create problems. Like we see politicians, initially they may be in a party where secularism is the norm. They want they treat all religions equally and all. Then they may join to another party where they focus on Hindutva, on focusing on showing that how Hindus are superior and their rights have to be protected. Then they may again join to another party where they want to fight for the rights of the Dalits and other lower caste groups. So then they may say that the Hindus are discriminatory and the upper classes are discriminatory, so like that. So they all they adopt this kind of equalities and all this for the convenience sake. Okay, Yashraj, do you have some question?
Uh, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a question. I heard in a lecture of Prabhupada, Prabhupada said if you are a good Muslim, if you are a good Christian, if you are a good Hindu, then you will go to back to Godhead. But we always ask, we have to connect with some parampara. So as per my understanding, they are not in the parampara of any Vaishnava system. So how they will go to back to Godhead if they are in not in parampara?
No, not exactly. See, they see these Vedas, no, they mention about Christianity. Like the descent of Jesus is mentioned in, I think it is Bhavishya Puran, if I'm not wrong. So they are bona fide paths to God. Now, whether they are complete paths to God, of course, in Christianity itself, there are different types of Christianity. So even in Islam also, there are different types. But in Islam also, there is some Sufi saints who are very pure. They don't eat meat, etc. And their worship to Allah is more like there are a lot of parallels to our bhakti. They write songs and all devotion. So the express devotion, it's not like a karma kandi approach. That if you worship Allah, we can go to heaven and we can enjoy many virgin girls. Not like that, Jannat and all. And Christianity also, there are Franciscan monks who who have very personal and devotional relationship with Lord. They speak a lot about devotion to Lord, etc. Saint Francis and all. So they are in parampara, but so they are in parampara means they have scriptures, no? They have Bible, they have Quran and all. Yeah, but the parampara system and all was not that made intact and all. They don't have so much of that, but means water worship, Krishna is accepting that, and they'll progress. So that is there. It's not that everyone has to become only a Vaishnava, then he can go. Yeah, definitely. You want to go to Goloka or you want to go to Vaikunta and all, yeah, that is there. But if somebody wants to go to Mahesh Dham, that is also in the spiritual world only. Somebody wants to go to Brahma Jyoti and all, then there are other paths for them. So things like that. Okay, we will proceed to the next shloka. Roji Vaikunth Bihari Prabhu, you can repeat after me. Yasmin sarvani bhutani
यस्मिन् सर्वाणि भूतानि
atmaiva bhut vijanata
आत्मैव बुद्धिजानतः
tatra ko mahakashoka
तत्र को मोहः शोका
sorry, ekatvam anupashyata.
is gone to
Okay, ekatvam anupashyata.
एकत्वमनुपश्यतः.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
So the translation is one who always sees all living entities as spiritual sparks. In quality, one with the Lord becomes a true knower of things. What then can be illusion or anxiety for him? So this verse further says that how by seeing everything in connection to the Lord, one will get liberated from the material energy. So in Bhagavad Gita, so this verse is there, Purusha Prakritisto hi bhukte prakriti guna karanam guna sangasya sadasa dhyoni janmasu. So the root of material existence is the enjoyment, the desire to enjoy the matter. Because of that, he will get entangled with the modes of material nature, and because of that, he will get sad asad yoni janmasu. He will get material body, birth after birth. So this when this enjoying mentality is replaced by spiritual vision, so then what happens? There will be no material vision. If there is no material vision, then there will be no illusion, means no entanglement with the modes. So if there is complete spiritual vision, then automatically he is liberated that way. So spiritual vision and material vision are opposite to one another. So this is what basically this verse is saying. Initially in the first verse, what it is saying that if you have spiritual vision, you will not hate anything or anyone. Now this verse what it is saying, if you have spiritual vision, then there is no moha, which means you will be liberated. That is what. Okay, so Prabhupada in the purport, initially he talks about the real oneness, what this verse is telling. Ekatvam anupashyati. So what is that ekatvam? Because ekatvam generally in Upanishads, somebody may think ekatvam is referring to becoming merging with the Brahman or something. So Prabhupada clarifies it elaborately. And then he speaks also about moha and anxiety, so that he speaks. Yes, Prabhuji, you can read it, except for the Madhyamadikar.
Except for the Madhyama Adhikari and Uttama Adhikari discussed above, no one can correctly see the spiritual position of a living being. The living entities are qualitatively one with the Supreme Lord, just as the sparks of a fire are qualitatively one with the fire. Yet the sparks are not the fire as far as the quality is concerned, for the quantity of heat and the light present in the sparks is not equal to that in the fire. The Mahabhagavad, the great devotees, sees oneness in the senses, in the sense that he sees everything as the energy of the Supreme Lord. Since there is no difference between the energy and the energetic, there is the sense of oneness. Although from the analytical point of view, heat and light are different from fire, there is no meaning to the word fire. Without heat and light, in synthesis, therefore, heat, light, and fire are the same. In this mantra, the words
read.
in this mantra, the words
Ekatvam anupashyata.
Anupashyataha indicates that one should see the unity of all living entities from the viewpoint of the revealed scriptures. The individual sparks of the Supreme Whole, the Lord, possess almost 80% of the known qualities of the whole, but they are not qualitatively equal to Supreme Lord. These qualities are present in minute quantity, for the living entity is but a minute part and parcel of Supreme Whole. To use another example, the quantity of salt present in a drop of seawater is never compared to the quantity of salt present in the complete ocean. But the salt present in the drop is qualitatively equal in chemical composition to all the salts present in the ocean. If the individual living being were equal to the Supreme Lord both qualitatively and quantitatively, there would be no questions of his being under the influence of the material energy. In the previous mantras, it has already been discussed that no living being, no even the powerful demigods, can surpass the Supreme Being in any respect. Therefore, Ekatvam does not mean that a living being is equal to Supreme Lord in all respects. It does, however, indicate that in a broader sense, there is one interest. Just in a family, the interest of all members is one, or in a nation, or the national interest is one. Although there are many different individual citizens, since the living entities are all members of the same Supreme Family, their interest and that of the Supreme Being are non-different. Every living being is the son of Supreme Being, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita 7.5-6, 5 to 6. All living creatures throughout the universe, including birds, reptiles, ants, aquatics, trees, and so on, are emanations of the marginal potency of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, all of them belong to the family of Supreme Being, there is no clash of interest.
Okay, thank
Krishna
you.
is our
No,
Lord.
no, I will.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you so much.
So, so initially Prabhupada is saying about the fire and the sparks of fire. If you see the sparks of fire, they may be able to burn a small grass, a small piece of grass. It may be able to burn. A spark may be able to burn that much. But fire, it can burn a huge heap of grass. Also, it can burn with fire. So that way there is difference. But both are fiery. So that way there is a qualitatively there is no difference between the energy and the energetic. So Prabhupada is saying that the ekatvam anupashyati, so that is what it refers to is the qualitative oneness, but not the quantitative oneness. So for that, Prabhupada again took example of the drop of seawater and the ocean. So the drop of seawater has very little salt, but the whole ocean has a huge amount of salt. So quantitatively there is difference, but both are salty. If you So that's why qualitatively there is no difference. So both are Satchidananda, even the Atma as well as the Paramatma or Bhagavan. But Atma is very infinitesimal, but Bhagavan is infinite. That way there is difference. And also again in oneness means so Lord also loves all the living beings, and Atma also understanding all the living beings as part and parcel of the Lord also loves them. So that way, and wants to help the conditioned living entities. So that way they have a same interest. That way. Yeah, Krishna is like always like means this part and parcel relation with Krishna is an eternal relation. Like Krishna always is like our loving father, whether we acknowledge that or not. So if we are not devotees, then the love of Krishna manifests in form of his compassion. His compassion through devotees, through Shastra, through holy places, etc. So that's why that way Krishna's love is unconditional. Now Prabhupada talks about the Shoka. Yes, Yashas, do you have some question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. In this purport, we see Prabhupada explained that the drop of a sea and sea have the same quality, but any person who is not a bhakta or he may be Mayavadi, he can argue with us. But if we took the drop and we put into the sea, it will dissolve into the sea. So how we can answer this?
It will dissolve, but at molecular level, it will be same. No? It will maintain its existence. Its identity is intact. No?
But Prajit, the question is same. So he can say, so how we can not dissolve into the God if the sea drop and sea will dissolve and sea to
No,
become the sea drop.
I'm saying that at molecular level, it is intact. No?
Okay.
So in one sense, it's not merging exactly.
Hmm.
So that way. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe in future session, it will clear.
Yeah.
And Prabhuji, one more thing is,
Yeah.
see, for a particular analogy, it has to be used only for the purpose that it is being made.
Yes,
And
that is
here,
also another thing.
yeah. So that analogy cannot be expanded beyond the purpose. So here, the similarities of quality. When it comes to quantity, then there are other analogies for that. So
Yes, please. Very good. Thank you. Okay, now, yes, Proj, why can't be here, bro? Can you read the spiritual entities are?
A material illusion and spiritual reality. The spiritual entities are meant for enjoyment, as stated in the Vedanta Sutra 1.1.12. Anandamayo Vyasat, by nature and construction, every living
Constitution.
being, including the Supreme Lord, and each of his parts and parcels, is meant for eternal enjoyment. The living beings who are encased in the material tabernacle are constantly seeking enjoyment, but they are seeking it on the wrong platform. Apart from the material platform is the spiritual platform where Supreme Being enjoys himself with his innumerable associates. On that platform, there is no trace of material qualities, and therefore that platform is called Nirguna. On the Nirguna platform, there is never a clash over the object of enjoyment. Here in the material world, there is always a clash between different individuals being, because here the proper center of enjoyment is missed. The real center of enjoyment is the Supreme Lord, who is the center of sublime and spiritual rasa dance. We are all meant to join him and enjoy life with one transcendental interest and without any clash. That is the highest platform of spiritual interest. And as soon as one realizes this perfect form of oneness, there can be no question of illusion, moha, or lamentation, that is shoka.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, one more thing that your Prabhupada talks about the qualities, 50 qualities and all. So that is described in Bhakti Rasam NOD, Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu by Srila Rupa Goswami. So here like this, there are different qualities of the Lord, like beautiful features, auspicious characteristics, pleasing, effulgent, strong, youthful, like this, truthful, many. So in this 50 qualities can also be present in the Jiva, but to a minute extent. But they are present in full in the Krishna as well as the Vishnu Tattvas also. Even to Brahma and Shiva also, I think the 50 qualities are present. But apart from this 50, there are further qualities which are not fully manifested in Brahma and Shiva, but they are manifested in the Vishnu Tattvas. And for Krishna, there are exclusive 4 qualities which are exclusive to Krishna. So that is there. And yeah, in terms of merging into the Lord and all that, you will study in Bhagavad Gita 2nd chapter that how Krishna tells that no, that I exist, the kings also exist, that you exist eternally. So that is one verse. And then Krishna tells that how the Atma is indestructible, it cannot be cut, all these things. So that Prabhupada explains in the purports that he refutes this Mayavadi conceptions and all. So there you will definitely come to know. Okay. So here tabernacle means it's a temporary dwelling. Material world is a temporary shelter. So that is tabernacle. Nirguna and Saguna, yesterday we have studied. So Saguna means with spiritual qualities. Nirguna means no material qualities, not affected by material goods. So we see that the material world is a world of limitation with respect to time and space. No, everything cannot always exist. The body is born and the body has to die. So, and material world, it's based on exploitation. Everyone wants to exploit others. The rich wants to exploit the poor. The intelligent wants to exploit the foolish. So that way. So it's based on exploitation and selfish enjoyment. So that's why there is a clash of interest. Two siblings want the same toy, so there is a clash of interest. And the parents have only limited capacity; they can only purchase one toy. So that's why there is clash of interest. But spiritual world is based on service. That's why, and Krishna can reciprocate simultaneously. Like even there are unlimited people, but everyone wants to serve Krishna. And Krishna has the capacity to reciprocate simultaneously with unlimited devotees in unlimited ways. So that way there is no clash of interest in the spiritual world. They have a common center, Krishna, and Krishna has this capacity to do that. But material world, there are different centers. and the centers collide. Prabhuji, you can read a godless civilization.
A godless civilization arises from illusion, and the result of such a civilization is lamentation. Godless civilizations such as that sponsored by the modern politician is always full of anxieties because it may be crushed at any moment. That is the law of nature. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita 7.14, none but those who surrender at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord can surpass the stringent laws of nature. Thus, if we wish to get rid of all sorts of illusion and anxiety and create unity out of all diverse interests, we must bring God into all our activities.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. Yes, so now you can think about these two questions, first two questions. So give examples from Shastra or even from current events also you can say that illustrating how there is always in material life there is clash of interests. From Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavatam or whatever, even the current events also you can say some current world examples. And also examples from Shastra and current affairs, how there is all lamentation in material life. Third thing, it's your personal thing. You can just note down if you have paper. If you have notebook and pen, you can write down or you can type in smartphone. So you can take around 5 minutes and then we'll discuss. Okay, so for first one, Ms. Pro, Sharad Pro, you can do.
Prabhuji, Kaushik King and Vasishtha Muni for Kamdena Prabhu, there was a clash of interest.
Yes, yes, yes. Good. Thank you. Because both wanted for themselves. Yes. They're in the spiritual background. Yes. Good.
Hare
Okay.
Krishna Prabhu.
Yes,
Sorry.
yes.
Please continue.
Okay. Shrikant Prabhu.
Guruji, normally we see that when father dies or something, then two sons they'll fight for the property,
Yes, yes. Good.
or two nations will fight for the land, like Pakistan and India for
India.
Kashmir.
Yes, yes. Good. Thank you. Yes.
Can I
Yes,
say
sure.
Prabhuji?
Yes, yes. You can tell. Back into me. Rosie, tell me, please.
Examples of Prithu Maharaj and in current affairs that Modi government which has been formed, they are having they are like material life is based on sense enjoyment, and one of the four defects is cheating tendencies. Senses are compared with the serpentines; they can never be satisfied.
Yes.
So there will always be clashes between the material interest, means clashes of interest in material life, because it is based on the sense gratification.
Okay.
So Prithu Maharaj is an ideal example from the Shastra, and current this government which has been formed is a like not majority BJP has got, so like combining some people are coming together and forming government. So it is an anti-example of
Okay.
clashes of interest in material life.
Thank you. Fine. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Prabhuji, what is
Yes,
okay?
yes. Yeah. Of course, we are talking specifically about clash of interest, so I can tell about Prithu Maharaj and Indra. They quarrel based on the horse, the yajna horse that is there. Of course, Prithu Maharaj's interest in that is spiritual, so that's why it gets settled. Yeah. That is a appropriate example. And yeah, in politics, of course, you can say before forming the coalition, the both the both blocks are trying to get the different parties to form the government. That is one way. That is in one sense clash of interest. Okay. Okay, yes, Raj Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. In the Shastric perspective, I have two names. First, one example is Ravan and Hanumanji. Both see the Sita Maya, but Ravan wants to enjoy the Lord's energy without the Lord. But Hanumanji wants to serve the Lord energy in the Lord's service.
Okay,
And
but yeah, fine. Continue.
second in the same, Ravan is common, but second person is Vibhishan. Vibhishan wants to surrender the Lord, but Ravan doesn't want to go to under the shelter of Ram. So both are the brother, but their interest is different, and there is a clashing. And previously, Prabhuji said the political party is the best example of in the clash of interest. No party, even if there is a two party, they don't ask this party's policies are always right. Even they know this is right, but they always deny and they always oppose them.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, it's good. We are looking for specific case where they are fighting for the one same thing, not fighting in terms of accusing each other, but fine, no problem. Okay, for second, uh, where there is lamentation in material life, that one. Okay, Soni Mataji, entertain.
Prabhuji, I have written the example of Ayodhya only, where lamentation is also coming and clashes are also coming. So lamentation is coming from the people of Ayodhya, whereas the clashes are arising amongst the government authorities. It is all because it is so called like God centered, but both of them are desperately interested in their own interests. Like the politicians are interested in, building their authorities and all, and the people at Ayodhya, although they are interested in Sri Ram, but still they are looking for their personal things
Okay.
also. So
Okay.
because of that, lamentation is also there and clashes are also there.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Shrikant Pro.
Because in current affairs, we had in this news about the car accident. By
Okay,
a-
yes.
so maybe lamenting for driving fast or
Yeah.
not uh, attentive while driving. So later lamenting because of that.
Yes, yes. Okay. Of course, in general, we can see that people lament for their loss of youth, and also people don't want to get retired, but they are forced to retire when they become old. They lament that now they are not able to earn the same income. That is one thing. Okay, Ishaya Mataji, you want to say?
Yes, Prabhuji, can you consider that example which you had given of Harsha Shok? Like there was lamentation because they didn't
Yes,
have a
yes.
child and then he
Good,
was
good.
killed.
Thank you, thank you. Yes. And yes, Yashraj Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. It's a very common example. When we hear always this proverb, we lose the health in chasing the money, and after the chasing the money, we spend into hospital, and we lamented that we are not. If at that time, if we are considered
Yeah.
do something, so sometime we and do so many big hard work and we forgot sometime family and all. After in the old age we lamented that, oh, at that time if I do this, I do this. So it's a
Yes,
common
yes.
example.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So one thing is that's what if we are attached to matter, then definitely we have to lament in some way. Because one thing we have to understand that materially everything will not be always all right. That you have to accept instead of unnecessarily lamenting. Good. Thank you. So Prabhupada is saying at last, so thus if we wish to get rid of all sorts of illusion and anxiety and create unity out of all diverse interests, we must bring God into all our activities. So initially there may be
Prabhuji, Hiranyakashyap and Prahlad example will come in this clashes.
no, see, one thing is we are talking about clashes because of material interests. So Prahlad has spiritual interest and Hiranyakashipu has material interest. So that's a different example than this. So for one thing, two materialists fighting. That is what we are looking for. So it's fine. Okay.
When's example can be given, Prabhuji?
Venus in terms of what? He's lamenting or what? Okay.
I don't remember. Tatha.
Yeah, maybe you can think and tell later. No problem.
Dhruva and Uttanpad.
Who? Uttanpad and Dhruva. Okay.
Dhruva for like left.
Your voice is breaking, I think. Yeah, if you take example of Vishwamitra and Vasishtha, initially, Vishwamitra is fighting with Vasishtha because he's seeing Vasishtha in a material perspective, that he's seeing that how Vasishtha is a Brahmarshi and I am not a Brahmarshi, and he has made me lose my kingdom and these things. So he was initially envious and jealous of Vasishtha. But later, when Vishwamitra meets Lord Ram and becomes devotee of Lord Ram, and Vasishtha is also a devotee of Lord Ram, so then they become together, and then somebody is not. So somebody they both together they plan on how to arrange the marriage for Lord Ram and Sita and his brothers Lakshmana, Urmila, and all this. So that way they become together. They come together and they forgo their enmity, differences, and all. So that is one good example that when we bring God into all our activities, then we can get rid of all that anxiety and create unity.
Dhruva and Suniti for Utan for lab.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that is a good example. After Dhruva becomes a devotee, then Suniti and Dhruva and Suruchi and they all come together. Yes, that is also a good example. Okay.
Prabhuji, Dhruva Maharaj killed Yakshas, no? In,
Yeah.
what was the name of his uncle?
Yeah, they are all
Uttama
Kuvera's followers there. But that clash is like it's like Dhruva Maharaj is doing his duty. It's not like Dhruva Maharaj wants to enjoy particular land and others. See, clashing of desires we want. Like Dhruva Maharaj is doing his duty. That's why he fought with Yakshas there and he wants to punish them because they killed his brother. Okay.
Okay.
That's a little different context.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes, Isha Mata, you want to share something?
Prabhuji, can we say Bali and Sugriv?
Yes. Bali and Sugriva is fine because Bali.
Will have conflict.
Yeah, in one sense it's okay. But of course, Bali, yeah, initially it's a misunderstanding, miscommunication. That's a little different example. Basically, we want to see examples where two persons have a same desire for a same object. That's why they clash. It's okay, no problem. It's fine. Good examples we got. Okay, Vaikuntha Bihari Prabhu, can we read this? The results of our activities. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, you're on mute.
I forgot to unmute. The results of our activities must be used to serve the interest of Lord and not for any other purpose. Only by serving the Lord's interest can we perceive the Atma Bhuta interest mentioned herein. The Atma Bhuta interest mentioned in this mantra and the Brahma Bhuta SB 4.30.20 interest mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita 18.54 are one and the same. The Supreme Atma or Soul is the Lord Himself, and the minute Atma is the living entity. The Supreme Atma or Paramatma alone maintains all the individual minute beings. For the Supreme Lord wants to derive pleasure out of their affection. The Father extends Himself through His children and maintains them in order to derive pleasure. If the children obey the Father's will, family affairs will run smoothly with one interest and a pleasing atmosphere. The same situation is transcendently arranged in the absolute family of the Per-Brahman, the Supreme Spirit. The Per-Brahman is as much a person as the individual entities. Neither the Lord nor living entities are impersonal. Such a transcendental personalities are full of transcendental bliss, knowledge, and light eternal. That is the real position of spiritual existence. And as soon as one is fully cognizant of this transcendental position, he at once surrenders unto the lotus feet of Supreme Being, Sri Krishna. But such a Mahatma or great soul is very rarely seen because such a transcendental realization is achieved only after many births. Once it is attained, however, there is no longer any illusion or lamentation. There are no miseries of material existence and there are no birth and death, which are all experienced in our present life. That is the information we get from this mantra of Sri Ishopanch.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
So here it is saying that how if all the children come together as one family and obey the order of the father, then they can derive pleasure. Yes. So if you see the Vedic model, the king is also a devotee and he's focused on serving the Lord. And the people are also devotees and want to serve the king want to serve the Lord through the king. So there is always a nice uh, harmony between all this. But if you see the current society, the king wants to exploit the rulers or the politicians, the leaders wants to exploit the people, extract taxes and wants to fill their pockets. And the people also want to extract welfare and all the things from the leaders, demand more development and all from the leaders. So in that way, both are worried about themselves, and so that way they are not satisfied and there is no harmony, etc. So that is one thing you can see. Then here Prabhupada is again, then he's saying that becoming Uttamadhikari, it's a very rare and it takes time. So yes, it is told generally Uttamadhikari, you will be studying in NOD. It is at Bhava Bhakti. So one of the aspects of Bhava Bhakti is Sudurlabha. Sudurlabha means it's very, very, very rare. So coming to Bhakti is easy, but it's possible, and but achieving Bhava Bhakti is rare. So that's why Prabhupada is writing that coming to Uttamadhikari stage is very rare. So for that only, for them only, this verse is also there. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochati na kamshati samas sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhakti labhate param. So that's a rare platform. But it is possible for everyone. One puts effort. So that is there. Okay, so Prabhupada discussed about initially the Ekatvam Anupashyasi. So what is that Ekatvam he discussed? And now then he also discussed about that Moha. So what is that Moha and what is the solution for it? The solution, the Moha comes because of material vision and material enjoyment. And the solution is to bring Krishna into center, God consciousness. So any questions on this verse? Any questions? So this is the verse. Okay. There are no questions. We will proceed to the next verse. Prabhu, so you can repeat after me.
Yes, Prabhu.
Saparyaga Shukram Akayam Avranam.
We can't see that verse.
This one? Okay.
Can't see.
Or I'll repeat.
I can see.
Yeah. Saparyaga Shukram Akayam Avranam.
Paryagam Shukram Akayam Avranam.
Ashna Veram Shuddham Apapa Viddham.
Ashna Veram Suddham Apapa Vidham.
Kavir Manishi Paribhu Swayambhu.
Kavir Manishi Paribhu Swayambhu.
Yatha Tyato Artha Vyadadash Shashvatibhyas Samabhya.
Yatha Ath Yato Arhan Vidya
Yadadash
Vedash
Shashvatibhya Samabhya.
Shasvatibhya Samabhya.
Okay. So the translation goes like this. Such a person must factually know the greatest of all, the personality of Godhead, who is unembodied, means akayam, omniscient. Omniscient. Omniscient is Shukram. Shukram, beyond reproach, without veins, pure and uncontaminated, the self-sufficient philosopher Kavi, who has been fulfilling everyone's desire since time immemorial. So this is a verse like what is the effect result of the worship? Means the worship prescribed is seeing everything in relation to the Lord in the world, seeing everything in the world and everyone in the world in relation to the Lord or in relation to the absolute truth. So through that, what happens? One will be freed from hatred. One will not hate anyone or anything, and eventually one will also be freed from material illusion. So then what will happen? One will attain the Lord. So here the description of the Lord is being described, different qualities. Okay, so Prabhupada initially describes about Akaya, means unembodied, which means Lord does not have any material body, Lord has a spiritual body. Yes, Prabhuji, you can read. Here is a description of. Are you muted?
It's one.
Welcome to Bhari Pro, you're there? Or
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji.
you can read. Here is a description.
Here is a description of the transcendental and eternal personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord is not
Formless.
form, transcendental form. Part is not visible, Prabhuji.
It's not visible. Huh?
Yeah, completely it is not visible.
Okay. Okay, anyone else can read? For me, it is visible.
I can read, but as much as is visible, Prabhuji.
Okay, yes, sure, Pro, you can read.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, you can read.
Yeah, from the start or?
Yeah, you can read from the start.
Yeah. Here is a description of a transcendental and eternal form of the absolute personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord is not formless, he has his own transcendental form, which is not at all similar to the forms of the mundane world. The forms of the living entities in the world are embodied in material nature, and they work like any material machine. The anatomy of material body must have a mechanical construction with the veins and so forth. But the transcendental body of the Supreme Lord has nothing like veins. It is clearly stated here that he is which means which means that there is no difference between his body and his soul, nor he is forced to accept a body accord, uh, according to the laws of nature. As we are in materially conditioned life, the soul is different from the gross embodiment and subtle mind. For the Supreme Lord, however, there is never any such difference between him and his body and mind. His complete whole and his mind, body, and he himself are one and the same. Shall I continue, bro?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. In Brahma Samhita 5.1, there is a similar description of Supreme Lord. He is described there is Satchidananda Vigraha, which means he is the eternal form fully representing transcendental existence, knowledge, and bliss. As such, he does not require a separate body or mind as we do in material existence. The Vedic literature clearly states that the Lord transcendental body is completely different from ours. Thus, he is sometimes described as formless. This means that he has no form like ours and that he is devoid of a form we can conceive of. In the Brahma Samhita, it is further stated that which with each and every part of his body he can do the work of other senses. This means that the Lord can walk with his hand, accept things with his legs, see with his hands and feet, eat with his eyes, etc. In the Shruti mantras, it is also said that although Lord has no hands and legs like our, he has different types of hands and legs by which we can accept all that we offer him and run faster than anyone. These points are confirmed in 8 mantra through the use of words like Sukram,
Okay,
omnipotent.
thank you. Okay, so you can take around 2-3 minutes and you can think about different differences between our human body and Lord's body. Some are given by Prabhupada, but there can be some others also. So you can think and we'll discuss. Okay. Yes, Yashas bro. Yes.
Hare Krishna Puji, we have to take the example apart from the Prabhupada example.
No, yeah, that is better.
Okay. So, for the human body, if we create something, we have to need material. We need some work on. We have to do some effort on it. But the God create this world by just taking breath, inhale and exhale, and He destroyed this world just by inhaling, and He create this world and universe by just exhaling. So He doesn't need any external material to create something. He's a self creator. His body self created all the 24 elements in the world, but human body needs to create. If I want some create some building, so I need bricks, cement, and all these things, but God doesn't need anything, so
Okay,
his body.
that's fine. Okay, that
Prabhuji,
is
can I
fine.
say something?
Yeah, you can tell.
Can I say, Prabhuji?
Yeah, tell, bro.
Lord's body is completely transcendental, whereas Jiva's human body is only the spiritual spark which is there, that is transcendental.
Yeah, take it.
Lord is
Material and
completely pure.
spiritual.
Lord is
That's fine.
completely.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
We
Prabhuji.
will. Yes. Soni Mataji, you want to say something?
Yes, Prabhuji, I have 8 differences.
Okay, you can tell
Our
some.
body is made up of gross elements. God's
Mm.
body is Satchidananda Vigraha.
Mm.
Our body is degradable. God's body is Krishna's body is eternal.
Okay, I'll come
Our
to you.
body.
Fine. Mataji, fine. We'll take others and then I'll come to you. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Muskan Mataji, you want to say something?
Prabhuji, our body goes from different phases like disease, death, and Lord's body is eternal.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Yes, Soni Mataji, you have some more points? Okay, we will
Yes.
take Shrikant Prabhu. Shrikant Prabhu, you can tell.
So one point is that we are forced into this material body.
Yes.
Lord has his like original form. He's not
Yes.
forced.
Yes. Thank you.
Can I add something more?
Wait. We just complete typing body general because of Yes, bro. Why couldn't be a pro content?
Lord can perform any activity from any of his body parts.
Yes.
And jivas, they need they are having they want to eat, and then they want to go through the digestive system and all, but Lord doesn't have such need, such requirement.
Yes. Good. Okay, so human body needs maintenance. Human body needs maintenance. Form of food, water, etc. Good water, rest. Lord's body doesn't need. Okay. Yashas, bro, you want to add something?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, the human body works under the laws of nature, but Lord's body doesn't. Even he's a controller all the laws.
Okay, fine. It's good. Thank you. Affected by, you can say affected by disease and all, which is modes, 3 modes. Beyond influence of 3 modes. In one sense, it is. Yes, Who else is there? Okay, Sharad Prabhu, you want to add something?
Yes, Prabhuji. When we change the body, we forget our past. But when Lord does so, he remembers all his past activities.
Yeah, that is good. This is going to come in Bhagavad Gita. Thank you.
Prabhuji, can I add something more?
Yeah.
The human body is it destroys. The
Yeah.
Lord's body is always existing.
Yeah. We have covered that point. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. Soni Mataji, you want to say some more points?
Yes, Prabhuji, our body is tiny and countable, but Lord's body is immeasurable. We cannot measure. And our body has specific organs to do specific tasks, but God's body is having interchangeable senses where he can do any task with his any sense.
Okay.
And our body is conceivable by senses, but Lord's body cannot be conceived by any imperfect senses. And we are susceptible to wear and tear, like old age and all diseases. But God's body is always having Navayovan, so it is free from wear and tear.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
And Lord, Prabhuji, can I add one thing more?
Yes.
Lord is always young, like at the age of 125 or 100. He was
That is Navayovan.
like
Yes,
16 years.
Navayovan.
Okay. Yes.
But
That
human
is
form is like it changes from place to place.
Yes. That's good. Okay. Okay. Who else? Any points? Yes, Rahul Prabhu, you want to add something? Okay, so yeah, one thing is human body, there is some defect. Either the face may be weird looking, or the belly may be weird looking, or so in terms of the look, there is something odd, something. The face may be bulging or uh, different things. But Lord's body is very perfectly formed. If it's look, but it's very perfectly formed. Lord's bodies. There is symmetry. There is all those
Perfect
things
features.
are perfectly formed. Perfect features. Okay, so we will proceed to the next topic. Thank you for your insights. Okay, Yash Prabhu, you can read Shukram, the Lord's worshipable form.
Shukram, Lord's worshipable form, Archa Vigra, which is installed in temple by authorized Acharya who have realized the Lords in terms of Mantra 7 is non-different from original form of the Lord. The Lord's original form is that of Sri Krishna, and Sri Krishna expand himself into the unlimited number of forms, such as Baldeva, Rama, Narsimha, and Varaha. All these forms are one and the same personality of God. And similarly, the Archa Vigraha worship in the temple is also an expanded form of Lord. By worshipping the Archa Vigraha, one can at once approach the Lord who accepts the service of a devotee by his omnipotent energy. The Archa Vigraha of Lord descend at the request of Acharya and the holy teachers and works exactly in the original way of the Lord by virtue of the Lord's omnipotence. Foolish people who have no knowledge of Shri Ishopnishad and any of other Shruti mantras consider the Archa Vigraha, which is worshipped by the pure devotees, to made of material elements. This form may be seen as material by the imperfect eyes of foolish people of Kanishta Adhikaris. But such people do not know that the Lord's being omnipotent and omniscient, they can transform matter into spirit and spirit into matter as his desires.
Okay, so just a minute. So yesterday we have discussed that how deities also, when you serve them with devotion, they reciprocate like the Lord. You get that reciprocation, you feel that attraction and all like the Lord. So that's what Prabhupada is saying, that even the deity forms are also omnipotent, like the Lord is omnipotent. So that is Shukram. You can continue in the Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah. In the Bhagavad Gita 9.11 to 12, the Lord regret to fallen condition of man, which little knowledge who deride him, because he descends like a man into this world. Such poorly informed person do not know the omnipotence of Lord. Thus the Lord does not manifest himself in form of material speculator. He can be appreciated only in proportion of one's surrender to him. The fallen condition of living entities is due to entirely of forgetfulness of their relationship with God.
Okay. So yesterday we saw the verses of the seventh chapter of Bhagavad Gita. But as long as one is entangled by the three modes, he cannot understand the Lord. And unless one surrenders to the Lord, he cannot be freed. Somebody is not muted. Unless somebody is freed from the three modes, unless somebody surrenders to the Lord, he cannot be freed from the three modes. So therefore, first one should surrender to the Lord, then one will be freed from the three modes, then he can understand the Lord. Okay. Yes, Prabhu, you can continue. So now Prabhupada is talking about this one, that Lord has been fulfilling the desires of the living entities from time immemorial.
Arthan Vyad.
That you need not read, you can read from the book.
In this mantra, as well as in many other Vedic mantras, it is clearly stated that the Lord has been supplying goods to the living entity from time immemorial. A living being desires something, and Lord supplies the object of that desire in proportion of one's qualification. If man wants to be a high court judge, he must acquire not only the necessary qualification, but also the consent of the authority who can award the little high court judge. The qualifications in themselves are not sufficient for once occupy the post. It must be awarded by some superior authority. Similarly, Lord awards enjoyment to living entities in proportion of his qualification, but good qualification in themselves are not sufficient to enable one to receive award. The mercy of Lord is also required.
Ordinarily, you
Yeah,
can continue.
Okay, Ordinarily, the living being does not know what is to ask from the Lord, nor which post to seek. When the living being comes to know his constitutional position, however, he asks to be accepted into the transcendental association of Lord in order to render transcendental loving service unto him. Unfortunately, living beings under the influence of material nature ask for the many other things, and they are described in the Bhagavad Gita 2.41 as having divided or supplying intelligence, spiritual intelligence.
Yes, split intelligence. Yes.
Yeah, split intelligence, spiritual intelligence is one, but mundane intelligence is diverse. In Srimad Bhagavatam 7.530 to 31, it is stated that those who are captivated by the temporary beauties of the external energy forgot the real aim of life, which is go back to Godhead. Forgetting this, one tries to adjust things by various plans and programs, but this is like chewing what has already been chewed. Nonetheless, the Lord is so kind that He allows the forgetful living entities to continue in this way without interference. Thus, this mantra of Sri Ishwar uses a very appropriate word. What is yatha yatha? Yathartha indicate that the Lord reward the living entities just in pursuance of their desire as okay desires. If a living being wants to go to hell, the Lord allows him to do so without interference. And if he wants to come back home, back to Godhead, Lord helps him.
Yeah, thank you. So you can Yeah, you can take about 3 minutes and think about instances from Shastra where devotees. So we are talking about devotees who asked material desires from from Krishna, Vishnu, or something. And instances from Shastra where devotees only asked for pure devotional service. When Lord appeared to them or when they met Lord or something, they only asked for pure devotional service. You can say from Bhagavatam. Okay.
Can I say, Prabhuji?
We will wait. We'll just wait for some 2-3 minutes. Then
Yes, sure.
Thank you. Okay, Shrikant Prabhu for first question.
Even Sandipani Muni asked to bring back his dead children.
Yeah, okay, but of course he is. Yeah, he is aware of that Lord is there. Yes, correct. Okay. Okay, Yashraj Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Vrishni and Sutapa. They once Lord become their child, but at that time I heard in a lecture the Lord doesn't happy from that, but still he accept and he give the benediction them. He will be the child in their after their birth. And so they come to in form of Vasudeva and Devaki, and Lord become their child. And Prabhuji, I have one doubt. Kalia in which category? Maybe I think he wants to just escape from the Garuda. So is it material desire because he
See, no,
doesn't
no,
accept?
it is not a material desire. Yeah, you will read this in NOD. See, there are some material needs.
Okay.
So the word there used is Anya Abhilashita Sunyam. There is Abhilasha and Abhilashita. So there is a difference.
Okay.
So like Draupadi praying for Krishna for protection, because that's a need. So praying to Lord for a need, material need, which is like in an emergency situation for protection of life, that is okay.
Okay.
So because for Kalia it's an obstacle for service. If Garuda comes, then he cannot continue serving the Lord. So asking for that is okay in that sense. You'll study it more clearly in NOD.
So
Okay.
actually, the Kalya is in confusing character. That's why I'm asking you. So he comes in which category? That's why.
No, once he has been taken to devotional service, he got purified and all, he is a devotee. So no problem.
Hare Krishna.
Means asking for that, it's not, it is devotional service and it's not against devotional service. Or okay. Yes, Prabhuji, Chetan Prabhu.
Prabhuji, one is Kardama Muni asking the Lord for a suitable wife.
Okay. Yes, yes.
Then Indra asking for protection from Ritrasur.
Indra, yes, 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 yes. Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Sharad Prabhu.
I had same Prabhuji, Indra
Okay.
and
Yeah,
everything.
thank you.
Can I
Yes,
answer
Prabhu.
to you?
Yes, Prabhu.
Dhruva Maharaj asking for the kingdom.
Yes, good. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes, Soni Mataji.
Prabhuji, I also had Indra and Dhruv Maharaj, and for the second one, Sudama.
Sudama, yes, thank you very much. Okay, for second one, yes, Shrikant Prabhu.
Prabhuji, for the first one, I wanted to know if Uttara asking for protection, will it be like emergency situation?
Yeah, it's emergency situation, so that doesn't come under this first one. It is okay, means it's okay. Yes, Raj Prabhu, second one.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. The best example is in Bhagavatam. It's Kunti Maharani. He asked the Lord, please remove my all relationship with Pandavas and Vrishnis because I want to do your pure devotional service. Just like river flows to the sea, my mind always flows to it at your lotus feet.
Yes. Very nice. Thank you. Okay, who else? Yes, Prabhu, Avtari Chetan Prabhu want to say for second one.
Prahlad is only asking for pure devotional service.
Yes.
Sridhar, he was offered everything, including mystic powers. He refused all of them.
Yes.
Maharaj Prithu asking for millions of years. And
yes, Prabhu. Very nice. Thank you very much. Prahlad Maharaj says, no, I don't want to be like a businessman. No, don't ask me like that. It's not a business transaction that I do something for you, offer me something. He says that let my heart be purified of all material desires. Yes, Soni Mataji. For second one.
Prabhuji, gopis also, because when Uddhav went to them, Uddhav thought that they don't know the philosophy. But when Uddhav started preaching, so he realized that they are already realized souls, but still they are just asking for pure devotional service.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so okay, so nice points. So basically, thing is that's what we should. Once we become more pure and pure, our desires also will become pure, and we'll only seek the pure devotional service from the Lord. And the material desires, we should at least, even if we recognize, even if we have material desires, we should not ask to the Lord. We should see how to deal with them in a dharmic way instead of asking for the Lord. Because if we ask to the Lord, then it disturbs our devotional. It becomes mixed devotional service. So even if we have material desires or needs, we should take help from devotees on how to deal with them. instead of asking for the Lord or expecting those things that Lord should fulfill. Okay, so we will continue our discussion in the next Saturday. So any questions on what we discussed today? Anyone? Anything? Okay, if there are no questions, thank you. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai
Jai.
Bhakti.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.